My name is Paul Patane. I'm going to be reading fiction. But first I'd like to take a moment to thank the Hamline CWP faculty and two people in particular. The first one is in that corner, John Brandon. I'm lucky and blessed I've been able to spend an entire school year learning how to write better from you. What you've taught me can't be quantified, and I know I'm better off having known you, so thank you. And the other one is Katrina Vandenberg. She's been my advisor, teacher, and boss. She's had a masterful hand in everything I've done at Hamline, and I'm grateful for everything she's ever helped me with. So I'm going to read to you guys an excerpt from one of my short stories, A Walk on Sunset. It's about a young man named Charlie in his early 20s. He's been struggling with identity issues, and while he's going through that, he's also walking 3 miles in downtown Los Angeles. At this point, he's in Hollywood, so not downtown. But basically, he's walking with his aunt 3 miles to an In-N-Out burger, and it's about 1 in the morning. Looking back at the CNN building, Charlie reached into his pocket and pulled out his pack of cigarettes and lit a Camel. Scanning the building from top to bottom, he noticed a beige sofa on the sidewalk outside the tower. There was a man with small stature jumping up and down on the couch, wearing all black. Charlie took a drag and walked to the couch, realizing the man in black was Tom Cruise. He must have heard about Charlie's visit to the Scientology church and had caught up with him. Charlie nervously said, "Tom Cruise?" Tom jumped down from the sofa cushion. Charlie noticed he stood a couple inches taller than Tom. "You must be Charlie. I've been waiting for you." He held out his arms, pulling Charlie in for an informal and uncomfortable hug. "It's a pleasure." Pulling away, Charlie said, "This is incredible. When I came to LA, I knew I wanted to meet you, but you know, millions of people." He grew even more nervous, admitting, "I'm starstruck." Grinning, Tom said, "When you came looking for me earlier, I knew you had to be special." Charlie ran his fingers through his hair. "I know it's none of my business, but I'm sorry about what happened with you and Katie." Tom smiled, pulling Charlie in for another hug. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Tom pushed his new friend back a couple steps, holding Charlie's hand in his. "That's why I'm here." His teeth were as white as a spacesuit, and even though he had been exercising in front of the CNN building, there wasn't a misplaced hair on his head. "We can help each other out, you know, like friends do. Help me, help you." Trying not to laugh, Charlie took a step back. "I'm sorry, that's great and all, but I didn't expect you to channel Jerry Maguire on me." Tom held out one of his arms as wide as he could. "That's all right, Charlie, but try to pay attention, because you don't want to end up like me, like some kind of fucking case study." Charlie took his hands out of his pockets. "You mean when you went on Oprah's show?" Tom nodded. "There I was, opening up to all those people. It was supposed to be fun, and I was ridiculed. Take it from me, don't waste time worrying about other people and what they might think." He lowered his voice, raising his right hand to his face. "The truth is, they're all afraid. Afraid to love, afraid to fail, afraid to even succeed." Tom took a step closer and raised his voice. "I'm cloaked in failure, but that's all right. I wouldn't be where I am otherwise." He stepped around Charlie, moving to his side. "You're like me. That's what makes you special." Exhausted physically and emotionally, Charlie had gone through most of the night dwelling on little, obscure things. Television shows, what he would eat for dinner, how he would survive another mile of walking. But Tom's words added clarity to a situation that already felt rather clear. The truth was, things hadn't been so clear after all. "I appreciate a motivational speech as much as the next guy, Mr. Cruz, but I don't know what you mean. How am I like you?" Tom pulled Charlie in for another hug, patting his hands against Charlie's back. "You'll know when you know." A rusted blue Taurus drove down Sunset, making a horrible rumbling noise. As it passed, Charlie noticed its muffler dragging along the street, creating sparks. He turned back to thank Tom Cruise and offered to take him with his aunt to In-N-Out, but Charlie's new friend and the couch had vanished. Charlie and Aunt Mary walked in silence. They were both worn out and in need of hydration. However, there was a confident, silent agreement in place as they took each step. They were bonded in their journey, nothing denying them. Once Charlie decided he couldn't possibly be more uncomfortable, he noticed Hollywood High School creep into view. With it being so late, the campus was as dead as a cemetery. But Charlie smiled as he walked by, imagining all the people that filled the halls on school days. It wasn't long ago he roamed halls with teenagers and classmates of his own. Charlie's personal experiences probably couldn't hold a torch to what the students in Hollywood went through. But he was fine with that. Ultimately, Charlie thought high school had to be a pretty universal experience regardless of geography or population. He stopped in front of the school. I bet there are some pretty glamorous rich people who go there. Charlie's aunt stopped next to him, staring at the school like a movie poster. I suppose, but you know better than me, high school is a lot different from my generation. What do you mean? Charlie asked. Aunt Mary shrugged. When I was in high school, the world was changing, and it happened real fast. But as crazy as things got, we didn't have to worry about all the crazy shit, like the World Trade Center being attacked, or psychopaths with automatic weapons. She looked her nephew in the eye. It's scary. I don't know how your generation does it. I worried about the prom, not whether or not I'd get taken out by an active shooter. Charlie scanned the campus, trying to take it all in. I never thought of it like that before. How did you think of it? She looked at her watch and took a deep breath. Walk and talk. We need to keep moving. Charlie began to walk west again. Turning back to his aunt, he said, I didn't. I guess sometimes it's easier to deal with things if you don't dwell on them. The school began to fade away, and across the intersection, In and Out came into view. Charlie wasn't sure what he had expected. A castle, a floating restaurant, and a cloud in front of the gates of heaven, spotlights, and a DJ pumping house music. It didn't really matter because it wasn't what he saw. It looked so simple. Even though the restaurant appeared plain and ordinary, Charlie clutched on to the feeling that something special was waiting inside. Through large windows, Charlie could see a long line snaking back to the entrance. Every seat he could see looked filled by happy people, consuming their burgers and fries. It was as if none of them had a care in the world, at least not while they sat inside the In-N-Out. Thank you.